We're going to use the mini bands here in conjunction with a wall. We want to lean against this wall, and we do this because by connecting to this wall, I can emphasize this really strong posture that we want to have. We don't want to have sway back posture. We don't want to have rounded posture. And when we draw the knee up, what we want to do is really extend all the way up. So I'm just simply going to pull the right toe up, right knee up, and reach as high as I can up the wall with my left hand and really extend from my left toe all the way up to my left fingers, toe up. So this is simply a forward leaning, non-alternating high knee lift with the opposed arm reach. This is a wide stance lateral shuffle, three shuffles with a hold balance point. We want to always emphasize the change of direction. We want to emphasize the balance point on the last step. So I'm going to go wide and fairly low but upright, and I'm going to go shuffle, shuffle, stop, shuffle, shuffle, stop, shuffle, shuffle, stop. So it's 1, 2, hold, 1, 2, hold. Always keeping the band as stretched as you can keep it. Back against the wall now for a forward leaning and tensioning the chain all the way up. This time I'm crossing over. I want to work the inside of the leg here now. So now I'm going to pull this heel up and reach that arm up. Pull the heel up to the knee as high as you can get. Extend and reach as high up the wall as you can. I have the mini band around both toes, and what I want to do is point and really put my left toe into the floor. I'm kneeling now, and I want to extend this leg and point that toe. And then this is just a flutter kick. Just a nice extended leg kick. What we don't want to do is turn the toe out, because then that externally rotates the femur. We want to really feel this all the way up into your hip and butt. This is a flutter kick. There we go. I'm going to use the mini band. I'm going to do a skip. And what I want to do is I always want to bring the foot back to the center, to the midline. The way to do this, the way to get going on this, is to simply skip easily in place and then bring yourself back to the midline, drive the knee up, and bring that foot from the outside back to the midline. Midline skip. I'm going to use a medicine ball here, but there's nothing special about this. You could use a dumbbell, and you could go as heavy or as light as you want. This is just a parallel stance squat with, and we call it the over the rainbow press. You go up and over the top from side to side. Just want to get full extension off the floor and back down with balance. Now working a little bit in the frontal plane, I'm going to hold the ball over here at 10 o'clock and make a giant circle all the way around to 2 o'clock and then reverse it. So I have to decelerate the weight here and move through the range of motion. This is alternating giant circles. I'm going to do a diagonal chop and lift, non-alternating. I want to swing the ball down here. I want to lift it up as high as I can, and I want to emphasize everything with a high knee lift. So I want to make sure I get down, up, with a good high hip lock here to drive that knee up. These are figure eights, but we tip them. We call them lazy eights, and we do them two directions. One, the ball is descending across the front and ascending up the side. This is a descending lazy eight. You want to turn your head with your hands, and you want to obviously let your back heel rotate through the movement. And after I've done a certain half number of the reps, now I'm going to lift. These are ascending lazy eights. So you're really driving this with your hips and working to lift the ball as it goes across your chest. Again, using the medicine ball for resistance, but a dumbbell would work. What I want to do is a movement we call the arc, and the arc is from behind the right knee way up over the top of the head and down below to the left knee. And what we want to do this time is add a balance moment to it. So start by shifting your weight and making sure you pull one leg up, and then you could even add a little bit of a bound and bring it right over the top of your head and down to the other side. This is the arc with balance. We're using a jump rope. What I want to do now is emphasize 1 foot contacts. These are high intensity movements when you land on 1 foot. We're going to do a little ladder. We're going to hop once on 1 foot, once on the other foot, and then twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and repeat that. So this is an ascending hop ladder from 1 to 5. We'll go through it 2 times as part of the warm-up. And so it'll look like right, left, right, right, left, left, right, 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 left, 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 and so on up to 5. And then repeat that 1 to 5. So now we're going to do another hop ladder in which we ascend to 5 touches on each foot and then descend back down to a single one. So if we count, we go right, left, right, right, left, left, right, 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 left, 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 right, 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 left, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and down. We're going to make a little combination movement with dumbbells here. I'm going to start with my left arm overhead. All I'm going to do with the left arm is an up and down press. And with the right arm, I'm going to do this sort of diagonal pulling action, straight arm. So it looks like this. I want to rotate in the core to help drive that swing across. And I want to emphasize this expansion and extension from this arm to this arm by doing them in opposition. Continuing to emphasize balance and control. With a single dumbbell, I'm going to do a low lateral lunge like a skater's lunge. And I want to recover my foot, my ski, and reach in the same direction as the lunge. So when I lunge left, I want to reach left, lunge right, reach right. Balancing. You're on that ski. You're going to balance on 1 foot, and you're going to do what we call a high handsaw press. Imagine that you're with 2 hands and 2 saws, you're sawing. So we're here, we're tall, and we're going to press and press and press and press and hold your balance and fight for it. Here's the high handsaw press. We call this wax on, wax off, but we want to add a whole bunch of trunk rotation into this movement. We're going to do the movement fairly big. So what I want to do is move these big circles and help drive it by shifting my weight from side to side and letting those heels go. This is, we would call this the wax on movement. And then we would simply reverse it. So now we're bringing the dumbbell down and out and then returning over the top. Now to add a little movement puzzle to this low lateral lunge and reach out movement that we did, initially we reached in the same direction as the lunge. Now we're going to go opposite. So when I go to the left, I'm going to reach to the right. So now I'm lunging one way and then reaching back across and trying to stay solid and balanced when I get there. Now with my dumbbells functioning like, again, like saws, I'm going to balance on 1 foot and I'm going to try to stay fairly upright, but I want to use these dumbbells like hand saws, and I want to be soft on my knee, but I want to stay balanced and saw low, and then switch to the other side. Now some jumps and some bounds. It's ideal if you could do this outside on soft grass that you have looked at carefully to make sure there's no broken glass or whatever. And ideally, you would initially do these barefoot, because what we want to emphasize whenever we're doing something plyometric is that when you hit the ground is going to hit you back. And the ground has never lost that fight, but people have, athletes have. And especially skiers and skaters and swimmers who don't normally work with a lot of impact forces because the medium in which they compete and practice is fairly forgiving. In the case of snow, it lets you glide, but the ground won't do that. So land softly. Here's our forward jumps. We'll do these up the hill and back and down the hill as well. You're going to gather your arms forward, land softly. It's all about how you organize your landing. You want to be ready for the next jump. We'll do 10 of those. Okay, then backwards. Now, throw your arms backward to help propel your center of mass backward. Now, I could be going down the hill here, or I could be going up the hill going backward. We'll do both. We're going to bound now. Nothing radical about that. But again, this would be great if you could do this outdoors, if you could do it barefoot, if you could do it on good grass and on a gentle hillside, so that you're adding the resistance of the hill and then the assistance of the hill when you go down. So we're going to look up the hill now, and we're going to bound and balance. And I emphasize the balance by bringing this foot to that ankle so that we have recovered that ski. And then when we go backwards, push in the direction you want to go, diagonally back, land, balance, and touch. Always touch the ski that you just pushed off with to the landing ski to emphasize that good, strong balance movement. We'll do those going up the hill that way, and then we'll turn around and go backward up the hill, and then forward with balance down the hill. I want to do the dying bug, which we've done already, but this time I want to double it up. So touch and always touch the floor with your hand. You can with your foot, but if you do, don't let your heel clunk down, or better yet, on this second one, don't put it all the way down at all so you keep the tension on. This is double dying bug, and we alternate sides. This is a movement to add to your finishing set where you're trying to put your toys away effectively so that your recovery between workouts or competitions can take place effectively and efficiently. So this is, you're driving a rotation with your heels. All I'm going to do here is bring my near side hand down and my offside hand way up. And I want to do these nice and slow to really emphasize the length from this hand to this toe. And so this is a rotational movement with a reach, and you want to feel that kinetic chain pulling itself taut. This is a side position lengthening movement. What I want to do is lengthen the base leg. In this case, it's my left. I want to take my right leg and bend it, grab the toe, bring the knee back down so that they're parallel, the two legs. And the first thing I want to do is gently pull that heel towards my butt. It doesn't matter if you get there or not. The movement, the real active movement to begin with, is to lengthen this leg as though you're trying to touch your ankle with that knee. You won't get there, but we want you to feel that length along the front side. And if you get comfortable there, extending and staying, then you can also sort of extend that knee backward a little bit and then ease off. And you will feel a nice long stretch that happens in the fascia along the front side of the hips. And here from a supine position, a really nice one for hips. Keep the shoulders down as your anchor points. Point your heels rather than your toes on this so you start to feel all kinds of stuff lengthening in the fascia behind your knee. And what I'm going to do is roll my hips over, keeping that shoulder down, pointing the heels, extending both legs, and then swinging up gently towards my arm. And then I go the other way,
Bring that hip all the way over. Keep your knees from bending. You have to pay attention to what that leg is doing because it's going to want to bend at the knee, and so is the one on the ground. This is supine, hip rolls, pointing your heels. Keep your shoulders down. Now here's a great stretch for upper shoulders and lower neck. It's especially effective if you've been using your computer all day or double polling, because this is where stress tends to sit. I'm going to sit, pull my right foot up to about 90-degree angle at the knee, reach my right arm down along the inside, and keeping that knee pretty much straight up and down rather than letting it come out. I'm in this position. This is my anchor hand. What I want to do now is simultaneously push my heel away, this heel, and I've got the ball there to show you that when I do this movement, that ball should move. And I want to grab here, lift my shoulder, and pull back. So the movement is that. This is a seated one-hand grab and lean away. This is a prone position, straight leg hip roll. Again, the emphasis is on lengthening the kinetic chain always, so even the leg that isn't actually doing the swing is got to be lengthening and getting longer, and you want to feel that. So I'm pointing my toes, I'm going to roll my hip over, and then really extend that leg as far back as I can, like I'm trying to touch the far wall. And then I'm going to go the other way. Take your time, really extend, feel both legs lengthening as you do this. You'll get a very, very pleasant stretch. Supine position again. This is a figure 4, and we can do it a couple of ways. If you really are tight in the hips and you don't have good external rotation here, this is a good movement to try, but you might want to do it just by crossing your foot onto your knee. And if that's even too intense for you, you can bring this shin bone a little bit along your femur here. But I want to go here. I want to let my head rest back and gently push to externally rotate this femur at the hip. And if that feels good, and I think it will for a lot of you, then you can progress to straightening the leg, pushing on the knee, and pulling on this leg. So you're bracing here and pulling everything toward you, and you can pull and release and pull and release, and just do this until you feel that fascia along the side expanding. This is a double bent knee extend. It's a nice one for your hips. I'm crossing the bottom side over the top, and I'm using the med ball here because the action is subtle, but what I want to do is I want to push that ball away. I want to extend that knee and push that knee down simultaneously. So the action is this knee lengthening, this leg forcing that knee toward the floor, and the shoulders stay down. So everything along here gets expanded. Supine now. I'm going to lengthen my right leg, lengthen my left arm, and then bring my left knee up to about 90 degrees and reach to the outside. And now gently, carefully, slowly, I'm going to roll on that hip while I reach, while I extend, and bring that knee as comfortably and as closely to the floor as I can. And I might want to stay there for a second and re-emphasize the extension of this arm and this leg to really feel that stretch. And then I'll come back to the center, change sides, and repeat the movement the other way. This is an up, back, and over sort of movement, and when you get towards the end, you're going to feel the stresses on your cervical spine, on your neck, and so you have to be careful. Go slowly, and only go so far as you feel comfortable. And then when you finish, you roll back up, legs are straight, and when you get to this position, just push your hips straight up to reset. Don't let your back round over like this, because that's not going to do any good for you. Back, here, extend, and then all the way back up, push-up. You'll do this for about 6 to 10 repetitions. This is called crow, and what it is it starts in a deep squat position. Your elbows are inside of your knees, and you put your hands out front and gradually place your hands on the floor and bring your knees and weight forward while letting your elbows bend out. And what they do then is they give sore and tired adductors and groins a very nice stretch. You bring your weight forward, you can ease off, and once you're there, you can just wiggle your hips from side to side, wiggle forward and backward. Make it feel like you want it to feel. Make it feel good. And when you finish, rock yourself back, stand tall, feel good.